Alright, back again, Luke here. And today you can see that we still have the Primal Rage board out, and what I've decided to do is using some of this perf board here, what I'm going to do is remove these resistors on the RGB lines as well as the one for the sink, and I'm going to put them on some pots here, some potentiometers, and then hopefully maybe mount this above here so I can have better access to my RGB colors. As the Blast City, it has the RGB on the monitor, but it's on the side of the monitor so you can't get access to it from the front. So it'll be really nice if I can get everything mounted and situated up here on top. That way if there's any color differences on a different monitor, if I decide to use a different monitor, or if there's sync issues, I can just easily adjust them from here. So I'm going to try and give that a shot. I'll use some recycled parts here for the pots and try and get this thing wired up, and hopefully everything will go smoothly. So I'll get on that right now. Alright, so as you can see here, I'm in the process of putting wires on these lines. I removed the resistors in here. I'm just removing them one by one, and then putting these wires on here so I can wire everything up to my perf board that has my potentiometers on there and be able to control these lines a lot easier. And I'll do one more here so I can control the sync. I believe it was Arcade UK and TortureBot who pointed this one out here where it says Neotech only. And apparently that seal is there for this board to be used with a Neotech monitor only. There was a couple of revisions where you could use it on a Wells Gardner monitor, but I also did some research on this board, and it said that with a lot of Japanese monitors it doesn't sync very properly. It doesn't sync well. It's a little bit challenging to try and get this thing to sync up, so hopefully we'll be able to control all of this here by just this one board, and this will be a lot easier to make it work with some of the hardware that I got over here. So especially some of these different monitors, there's a lot of differences in these monitors, and using my Super Gun too, there's some differences, so it'll be nice to be able to control all the lines through this once I get it all hooked up here. But we'll get on that and see how it goes. Alright, so I figured I'd show you guys what's gone on here and a little bit of a rundown of what I've done to the board. As you can see here, here's the Daughterboard that I had made for the top part here. You can see there are 3 different pots. These are just pots that I had taken off of old broken boards, just trying to recycle a few bits here. This one goes to resistor number 2, resistor 5, resistor 4, and resistor 3 is where my convergence was. So I was able to tap that and control that here and get the convergence on perfectly. If you guys remember first time when I went and put this thing on, it didn't have perfect convergence up at the top here because I have this 100 ohm resistor that's run over here to my sink. And after putting this pot on here and just adjusting it a little bit, I was able to get it perfect. So that's why this is on here. And I know many people, there may be a few purists out there. Some people will say, like, why did you put this on here? You could have just done it with a few different resistors that were, you know, such and such ohm and whatever. And the way it really boils down is I did this because I want this to be able to be adaptable for different monitors. This gives me a little bit more of an option here if I want to mess around with the colors. Resistors 2, 5, and 4, I can mess around with the RGB and try and make the colors a little bit brighter or make them a little bit dull if I want to. So that's why I put this board on here. The one nice thing about working on these boards is, you know, unless you have plans on reselling them, if it's just something that you're going to use for personal use, you can do whatever you want with them. You know, don't let anybody control what you do with the board, you know. So that's the reason why I put this on here. One other thing that I've done is you'll see I've spliced some wires in here. With this particular board, it's not 100% JAMA compatible, so when you do plug it in here, although it does have a JAMA edge connector on it, the pins are a little bit different. As you probably saw in the first video, I had to press the start button in order to start the game up, but the game really doesn't have a start button. The only way that it starts up is just by pressing the, the attack button, one of the attack buttons. So what I had done is I took it, the point here from the start button, I used my Dremel tool and I broke the contact here. This is the one that goes to start, and I wired this thing over here to button number 4, and I broke the contact on the back there, and I also removed the capacitor that was bridging these 2 points. I did that on both of them. You can probably see there's a little bit one here. This is for player 2, and this top one's for player 1. What I've also done is I've removed the capacitors here for the sound. The sound is a little bit strange on this board as well, so I had cut the traces on there. I've wired this up to the soundboard, and And in the back here for the sound is a little bit tricky unless you take a look at the schematics. But if you're looking at it kind of like this, maybe I can show you guys. This is kind of like a really rough sketch here. But here's pin 1 on the far right. These first 4 pins aren't used. Then you'll have the key, which is just the blank spot here. And you'll see this is your left positive, left negative, which is up here. And, whoops, sorry. So the left positive, left negative, right positive, right negative, and then your subwoofer plus and your minus for that. As you can see, I have these two right here, the negatives. I have both of those bridged. I was thinking about trying to get stereo sound out of this, but I wasn't able to do it, so I just tapped mono sound here. And this one is just coming off of the left positive channel. And like I said, I have that run into the connector there, so there's no need for external adapter. That may be another thing that many people might say, like, wow, you could have just gotten an external adapter or something for a few bucks, or you could have made one or something like that. But to be honest, there's only a couple of wires on here that had to be jumped, and a couple of capacitors that needed to be removed in order to get this thing to work. So yeah, that's why I didn't go all the extra bit here. But you will see that I have this here. These ones are all soldered on. I don't have the connector for it, so what I've done is I've just soldered the wires completely on here. I have no intention on removing this board. In fact, I want to try and find a better way to secure it down here. There are just a couple of screw holes here where you can put some screws and some nuts through there and secure this thing down, so I need to secure both of these down here. But yeah, this board is up and running, and it's working pretty nicely. You know, there is a little bit of a strange sound from one channel, you know, because I've just got one channel sound, but other than that, it's not too bad. But let's try and hook this beast up here. I'll tell you what, I'll just cut here so I don't have to worry about fiddling around with the camera and then connecting up the JAMA harness, and then I'll show you guys what it looks like when it's in action. So I'll be back here in just a sec. Alright, so we got this thing all connected up here, so let's turn this beast on here, and I'll let you guys take a look at the options mode or menu here. Now, it may come out looking a little bit blue, but I promise you it's not blue here. If anything, the screen is a little bit dark, but that's something that I can't figure out. I need to change around one of the capacitor or the resistors on here, and you know, try and get that working. But let's see. Color test. So you guys can see that the colors here, they're coming out, you know, quite bright. And if we go out of this one, maybe go to a purity test, you can see there's our red, green, blue. This one's white. Like I said, it's really hard to tell through the camera. White looks blue, but it's really white. There's gray, black, so and so on there. My voice is really gone, guys. So I apologize for that. But if we jump out of here and we flip the old switch down here, so you can hear it's working. Let's see about opening this thing up here. But like I had mentioned, it's really hard to see the you know, the color, the true color through the camera. It does look blue, but it's not. It's actually white. So it's just a little bit dark. That's the biggest difference here. But yeah, Primal Rage is working. We have sound, and if we insert coins here, we can start this thing up. I'll show you. Let's see. There we go. And here's button 4, and that starts us off. So once again, you know, this camera here, this is one that just does not pick up the color off of CRT monitors so great. It's one of the cameras that I don't use for the CR2, but Yeah, it is a fully functioning board, and I'm really pleased. You know, the sound doesn't sound, you know, super perfect on it, but that might be just because I'm going through one channel. But as you guys can see, the convergence up at the top here, there's no problems. That is, it's all dead on right there. And the music, yeah, the music's all playing. We got all of our buttons here. We got like 1, 2. Oh, well, I died. But yeah, everything's working. So this is a fully functioning board. I'll see what I can do about putting this thing in a more sturdy box or something just to get it going. But just figured I'd show you guys a little bit more of some work here being done on the old Primal Rage board. And yeah, it's up and running. But that's about all for me for right now. Like always, I'll put up another video here soon. So thanks for watching. Alright, one more thing before we end this video here. One thing that I'm really happy about. If you guys try and type in like Primal Rage board, like problem or free or dead or something like that, you might be able to find the original post where the person who owned this board was trying to get rid of it and said that they were going to give it away or else it was going to go to the dump. Well, you know, there's been a lot of different things that have been modified on it, but, you know, it is a working board now, and I'm really happy to see this thing going. And interesting enough, this thing has a toe tag on it, and if we take a look at the toe tag, it says, video sync no good since January 23rd, 1998. So this thing has been dead for around 14-15 years. And, you know, this is 14-15 years later, and here's the board up and running again. So that's something that's really kind of cool. It's always good when you see something like this, something that's been, you know, non-working since this long, you know, this long ago. And then finally, you know, it finally gets up and it is a playable game again. It really makes you feel good. I know that a lot of people have also talked about how some of these boards are very common and why waste your time on something that's so cheap and, you know, common as this. And one thing that you really have to remember is that when things are really common, people have a tendency to throw them away and not take care of them. And eventually, slowly but surely, those common items begin to disappear. And that's how things become more and more rare. And that's why, in the end, you wind up paying a ton of money for something that maybe might have been a really common thing a long time ago. Just because everybody said, well, you know what, it's not worth fixing it, it's just not that valuable. You can get them really cheaply, so just throw it away and, you know, get another one. But eventually when people throw most of them all away and there's only a limited supply, the demand goes up. So just remember that, guys. When you go out and you try and find a board, you know, even if the board is something that's really cheap and you think to yourself, you know, this isn't worth even trying to fix because there's so many other boards out there, so many ones, you know, that I could pick from that are working right now. You know, just try and give it a shot. Try and see if you can work your magic on something like this. And if not, you know, at least it gives you a little bit of experience as to, you know, different parts of soldering or troubleshooting, problem solving, things like that. If you do get it going, it's a fantastic feeling, and that'll also save you a ton of money in the future when you go to buy something on eBay and find that the eBay sellers are there trying to jack up the prices and make a lot of money off of people who happen to throw away something very common, you know, 10 years ago, and now it happens to be about 30 times more expensive than what it would have originally cost if people had held on to them. So just keep that in mind, and yeah, I figured I'd share this with you guys here as kind of a little bit of a last note. Really happy about that, and yeah, that's about all for me for right now. Like always, I'll put up another video here soon, so thanks for watching. Good board.